Welcome back, mi amigos, to B-Town Stories with Shnazzle Simpkins and Jerry Legarr. I'm Shnazzle.
Hey, I'm Jerry Legarr, back at it again.
What's going on, hombre? How you doing, brother?
Pretty good. I was just thinking about all the different bathrooms in Kitsap County that I've done cocaine in.
That's a very interesting thought. I gotta say, I've only done it in, obviously the Manette, obviously the Drift, obviously the Golden Star.
Yes, the Death Star.
That was a long time ago before being wonderfully sober. So,
yeah, same here. But I was just driving by the Bethel on my way from the gym. And I was like, I remember this one time I was fucking doing some blow in there. And then I just started thinking about all the different bathrooms that I fucking RFK Jr.'d on the toilet seat.
Good times.
Actually, I tried to keep it on my keys. Didn't want to get any fucking hep.
I mean, those were the good old days before, like, you could just die instantly from fentanyl.
Yeah.
You know, like... I'm so excited that I got sober, like, coming up on 7 years now.
Yeah,
but,
just about.
Right back, like, in those days, it was just free and clear, like, party.
Yeah. I didn't even know what fentanyl was. I didn't even heard of it when I quit.
But I got a kind of an interesting topic that I suppose, I mean, you ever done cocaine in the woods?
I was just going to say, is this topic related to doing cocaine?
Well, kind of, but not really. But I think it would be interesting to discuss, kind of pontificate on stories that a lot of people in Bremerton can relate to. That's kind of what we try to do, right?
Yeah.
We try to take a through line and inject this premise into our brains and our listeners' brains so they can be like, oh, yeah.
Me too.
I did something with that, and it kind of sparks like some memories, and we have like a nice conversation about it. But I think something we haven't really touched on that we should is just straight up the woods, right?
The woods.
So like so many fucking cool things and crazy shit in and around, especially growing up in Bremerton, takes place in the woods because we have so many woods here.
Well, did.
Yeah,
it's much different now. Like, I think about that every day, like driving down pretty much every street in Kitsap County that I drive down. Like, oh, that used to be a cool place where you could go and fucking build a fort or something like that, but now it's an apartment complex.
Yeah, totally, man. I mean,
it's a darn shame.
Yeah, like the sneaking out, the smoking cigarettes, the just what were just off the top of the head, what were some of the cool woods hangs that you used to go to?
Well, we touched on it before, but I was talking about Lucky's Cove behind my mom's. So those woods.
So that is, tell the audience exactly where Lucky's Cove was.
It is halfway between the first cul-de-sac in Cantershire off of Foster Road and halfway between that and Cottonwood Elementary School.
So like it was the path you would take if you lived in Cantershire to get to Cottonwood.
There was one of 3 or 4 different trails, but they all kind of came out at the same spot, like kind of over where the buses picked everybody up and dropped everybody off. So it would kind of come out in that general area, but it was like there was like a hill, and it was like at the crest of the hill,
and there was a big rock there, right?
There was a rock and a gigantic tree that sat across the top of the ridge, which was basically used as a giant bench, and everyone could sit on it and sit on that big rock.
Yeah, totally.
Have bonfires and shit.
Let me ask you this. Do you ever have any good woods makeouts?
Woods makeouts.
Like, you're going for a walk with a girl and you're making out in the woods.
No.
Really?
Actually, one in the backyard, though. Well, a couple in the backyard. Not really in the woods, though.
Interesting. I had a couple after school at Fairview. Names will remain. There's woods that go from Fairview if you leave across the fields into the other neighborhood there.
Oh, I lived in that neighborhood at one point too.
Yeah.
Fairwood Ranch.
Yes. So like there was a bunch of cool little trails that go through there that like after school at Fairview, you can like go chilling with a girl and do a little bit of making out in the woods.
Ah,
Really tame making out.
yeah. I just
age.
wasn't into like that kind of stuff because I was.
How many men did you make out with in the woods?
There was no men either. There was just no action going on at all back in the day. By the time I was getting any, action like that, I was like already had a car and stuff like that. And
I did. There was like, have you ever walked on the trails down by? Well, Illahee has some amazing woods.
Yeah,
there was some good drinking and partying and like tomfoolery going down in those woods.
Yeah, there's this legendary place there called Hell's Hole.
Okay.
And like 20 years ago, somebody got murdered there or something. But not the generation before us, but like the people that were a little older than us that were like on the party scene.
Yeah.
Like they partied in there a lot. Like a lot of the rocker and kind of party scene people. And it was basically up in the woods in Illahee. I guess it's the Illahee Preserve is what it's technically called.
Yeah.
But across the street from Safeway, behind the park and ride, between Rolling Hills and the park and ride, there's this cleared out area in there that was called Hell's Hole.
So that was like the point for rockers.
Pretty much. That's from what I've heard. I've heard stories, but bad things happened there. Like it was called Hell's Hole for a reason. Like maybe there was a little, dabbling in the fucking Satanism going on up there or something,
Yes, Gizdan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beelzebub.
Yes. There was also, I seem to remember some wonderful, like, I walked with this chick from East Bremerton to Silverdale once along Tracyton.
Yeah.
And through some of those trails in those woods. Those were really cool. Right down there, like, along the water. And also, like, you know what I'm talking about, though? Like, if you go down past the fairgrounds and take a right towards Silverdale.
Oh, yeah. There's a park down. Well, you can get to a park down there, but there's a lot of trails.
You can kind of, like, go through the trails and go down to the beach right there.
Yeah. I forget what it's called, but I took Mia down there a bunch when she was little.
Yeah.
But I can't remember that, what it was called or whatever. But, yeah, that was cool. There was also, when my parents first got divorced, my dad moved to the Cross Point Apartments, which is on Buckland Hill. They're still there.
Oh, okay.
It's like, that was the first thing that wasn't a like residential house that was built on Buckland when they started like, turning all the woods into fucking businesses and shit.
Yeah.
And
wait a minute, where is Cross Point?
Like right when you cross over Tracyton Boulevard, it's the first apartment complex on the right.
Oh yeah.
It's been there for since 87
Nice.
Maybe. But my dad moved in there right when they opened. And on the other side of that, where like the Wendy's and that Jiffy Lube and some fucking like chiropractor is or something, before you get to Ridgetop, that was all woods. And so that was like when my dad moved there, that was our woods. Sick. And we found, me and my brother, we're like, oh, let's go wandering around over here. And this is way before the hospital and all that shit was there over on Ridgetop. So you could go all the way over to the highway through those woods.
Yeah.
You just had to cross over which at the time was a 2-lane Ridgetop Boulevard. So
I remember that. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So we went over there and we found what we thought was Satan worship stuff, probably just some fucking D&D nerd kids, fucking around. But the one thing we did find over there that was, to our surprise, was prawn.
Okay. So hold on a second. I seem to recall there was lots of porn in the woods, like everywhere. That's a thing, right?
Yeah, I looked it up a couple years ago, and some coworkers and I were talking about it, and it's just literally a common term called woods porn.
Really?
And there was like all these theories, like on all these Reddit pages, that like child predators were like putting the woods porn in the woods to lure kids out there to do bad things and stuff like that. But
I don't know.
I think it's a little like less crazy than that.
Yeah, it's crazy but dude, like that's wild that you say that, because now that I think about it, like maybe 70% of the times I went into the woods, there was like a jerk rag there. Dude, why is there so much porn in the woods in Bremerton?
It's weird. And so when I was doing that,
why is it?
It's not just here. It's like everywhere that there's woods
really?
in the country. There was woods porn.
But like obviously this is before the internet, right? Because
this is like 80s, mid 80s, late 80s, early 90s maybe. But
dude, I mean, I found some. I remember like me and Ryan Jensen, like behind.
You bombed the field.
Well, like on the way to the field, there was woods. We found like a stack of hustlers, but they were like water damaged.
Yeah.
I may or may not have tried to like carefully put the pictures back together, but for sure.
The mold was horrible.
Yeah, dude, and it's just like you're on a walk everywhere, and there's just like a 1978 Bush mag in the bush.
That I will admit, that is the first time I ever saw a bush was in the woods.
He saw Bush in the bush.
Underneath a bush, I saw Bush for the first time in a fucking Hustler or Penthouse. One of the two, they were pretty similar.
So, it's so weird though. Like, but how do they get there? So,
and it had Aquanet.
I suppose like, is it something to do with the mail? So like, like maybe you're a mail guy and you are delivering the normal mail, and there's like, an episode of, or like a Jugs magazine, and you're like, I want to keep this. So you flip it off the road into the woods, and then later on, after you're done, you and your weird perverted buddies can go back and find it.
Like your mailman buddies? Well, that gives me an idea that maybe there was kids in the neighborhood that were a little older and a little wiser than the younger kids that saw those jack packs getting fucking dropped off, and they went and fucking grabbed them out of the mailboxes and made their stash.
Yeah,
out in the woods.
That's smart.
Hence the wood porn.
So there's a lot of different justifications for it being out there, right?
Also, it could be like the wife was being liberal and thought she had let her husband, get a fucking subscription to fucking this dirty magazine. And then she started getting jealous of like her husband spending all this time in the bathroom beating off to these porns that she bought him for a Christmas present. So
that's also a very plausible scenario.
She rounded them all up and went to dump them out in the fucking garbage, and then some kids in the neighborhood went through the garbage and got them out of the garbage.
And there, at this time, there's no internet, so obviously, it could be any of the culprits living in the house. Like, like this guy wants to, like you've been married for 15, 20 years, and you want to just enjoy an adult magazine, but like, where can you do it? So you're like, hey, honey, I'm going to go out into the woods, and
smoke a cigarette,
do some swashbuckling, But then you go to the stump, and there you have a weird little thermos, and and a couple supplies.
Have some tea and a wank.
But God, it's weird. There was a fucking kind of a lot of it out there.
Yeah.
Like I swear to God, I've just going randomly in the woods have stumbled across at least 5 times like dirty magazines.
So that first time I found that stash over off Ridgetop between my dad's apartment, and then probably like within 6 months of that, found them up by Lucky's Cove,
dude,
behind my mom's house.
Well, I might have put the ones in Lucky's Cove. But is there a TV show in this? Prawn Hunters?
Yeah. That's a great idea, actually. So I'm going to post about this on our little Facebook forum.
Yeah.
And I want to hear everyone else's stories about...
Maybe, because it would be weird if it's just us.
Yeah. Let's hear your woods porn discovery stories. Love to hear it.
Yeah, man. Pretty wild, dude.
Other than that, I was really big into motocross.
Oh, yeah?
Oh,
yeah. Dude, huge.
I'm not going to call it motocross. I rode an enduro bike in the woods a lot and thought I was a motocross rider. So I'd get all the boots and the pads and looked like I was like at the Kingdom racing.
Were you doing a mountain bike or a motorbike?
Motorcycle? It was a
Mike
motorcycle.
was doing that too, right?
No, he never got one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. He was scared. Or
Yeah.
he's a huge pussy or something. But no. So me and my buddy Dan, we found a trail that went from right across the street from the Central Valley store, across the street, all the way up to frickin' the very end of Ridgetop Boulevard woods trails, where there's all those houses now on Ridgetop.
Oh, wow.
Was just woods. So we had like 50 acres of woods with trails to fucking ride our motorcycles in, and like fucking we'd get into some hairy shit out there and like find some like little swamps, and we'd get our bikes stuck in mud like 3 feet deep, and we're like tying fucking our clothes to them, trying to get them out of mud, and it's getting dark out and we're like stuck out in the middle of we did that a lot. And then I just started eating shit all the time on my motorcycle. Like fucking, I have holes in my knee and my shin just from I was like, I'm going to be a daredevil and go as fast as I can and go off this jump. And there's a 20-foot drop off on the other side, and I just flip my handlebars.
I used to try a little bit of mountain biking through the woods, but I was never really good at it. You know, I kind of like ended up getting into skateboarding. But
yeah.
I guess that like Port Gamble has like some of the best fucking like biking woods.
They do. I know exactly where it's at.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like world class, like mountain bike.
Yeah. When you're coming out the back of it from the Hood Canal, there's a big spot where you can park, and there's a shit ton of trails up there.
Rad.
I've never went up there, but I did have a lot of fun riding the motorcycles and the trails out in the woods back in the day.
Yeah. Like I used to want, like on Winters Road, I would sneak across. You know how there was that place where we burned that big fucking pile?
Well, have we ever told that story on here?
I don't know. Yeah, I think we have actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like very early on.
Oh.
But like at night, I would sneak out my window and like go across the street, across Winters Road, and there was just woods on the other side. So you'd go in about like 15 feet, and then I'd let you, whoever I was with, you know, like a lot of times it was Ryan Jensen. We would start a little fire with some twigs and then like smoke cigarettes. You know, that was like, we're sneaking out, we're going into the woods.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think that was pretty common around here for teens that were like rebelling a little bit, you know, and you had a lot of fucking woods to cover whatever you were doing up, you know?
Totally.
Murdering, smoking, whatever. I'm not making light of murder, just trying to, you know, lighten the mood a little.
Yeah, no, totally. You know, I'd be interested to hear what our producer Kevin thinks about the woods of our neighborhood. Let's tag him in.
Hey, Kevin, Kev Pro.
Kev Pro, are you there?
I'm coming in. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you being against murder, Josh. Thank you for speaking out.
Totally against it.
Totally against murder. Thank you. Somebody needed to say it.
Unless you're in a black metal band and you have to not be a poser.
So Kevin, you used to, so, you know, you were on the other end of Double Hitch Court.
Yes.
Back in the butted up against those woods. And that was your woods, right?
Yes. And honestly, I have so much to say about this subject because like truly that was my real backyard, you know?
Yeah.
I had a backyard, and literally there was a fence, like the back fence had a gate in it so I could go into the woods. And that woods is truly where we would play. All the kids in the neighborhood, we'd come together, we'd dig ditches, you know, like big pits. Like for some reason that was always a thing. Like, let's just dig a pit, you know, build a pit or dig a pit.
And then you could make like a little fort in there.
Yes, that was never fun. It was never comfortable. It was never anywhere you would want to hang out.
No, we did that all the time. We would dig a pit, and then we'd steal some fucking plywood from one of the housing development construction, and just put it over the top, and then cover that with dirt and branches so it was camouflaged.
Cool. You know? That was like a good 6 hours, and there's just nothing in there.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go sit in this dirty hole.
Wow, sure is dark. Are you over there? What are you doing?
There was a lot of crazy shit going on before the internet, man.
Yeah, seriously. I know. Again, trying to tell people what it was like pre-internet and dealing with the boredom. But yeah, no, those woods too. I mean, I mean, for one, there was a murder shed in there. There was definitely like a shed that had like a bunch of like machetes and stuff, but we still loved it. We still would run around playing it all the time. It was, and also too, like the woods were like our highway system. You weren't gonna walk on all the streets and stuff, but you'd go everywhere through the woods.
Yeah.
I remember
for sure.
you could go down from our woods to the kinder care, and then you could go up to Esquire Hills, and then you could take that all the way to Brownsville.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. I remember that little trail that went to kinder care back there.
Exactly. And the whole swath, it was like a maze that only the kids knew about and used all the time, you know? But I do want to get into a little tangent about porn real quick.
Yeah, let me ask you real quick. So is it just me and Josh? Like, have you found woods porn before?
I only found single pages, which is even weirder. It would always be like just like the like you know the like you would have the VHS collection and you could have like little tiny pictures like of all the VHSs you could buy. That's what I would find. I had way more access to like the apartment complexes where I knew there's a lot of sailors and you could dig into like the magazine recycling bins. But,
Oh yeah.
That was being a teenager. But I should say, you know, like through that, like, well, and also too, my dad had his huge Playboy collection that we discovered in the basement. You know, he's actually like literally like, oh, hey, look what you found, you know, and try to play it off. And I'm like, oh my, wait, Dad, these are all like late 70s, early 80s. Like you were married to Mom. Oh yeah, she used to read them too, you know.
Yeah, sure.
There's the articles. Yeah.
But I want to say this led to me actually having a career writing pornography for magazines. I was literally the guy that you know those letters you would see that was like, I can't believe this happened to me.
Yeah,
I was the guy. I was the person saying this can't. I was actually the lady that was saying I can't believe this happened to me.
Dude, that's crazy. Was that in Playboy?
Just 18, which was related to Swank.
Swank. That was a good one.
Exactly, dude. I wrote that for the best. Oh, dude, it was the best. I was in college. I had this girlfriend that was, I mean, I'm just gonna straight up say, super nuts. Like it was real bad when we split off. It did not work out. But before then, she was a stripper who was trying to get back and make some extra money on the side doing pornography.
That's so pretty Bremerton-ish.
Yes, it is. And so when she was gone out of my life, I kept getting these. She was using my email to apply to magazines, and I was like, "Well, hey, she's not here, but I can write this stuff." And it was, man, I was in college. It was the best job.
Dude, did you make a lot of money?
That's insane.
Fuck yeah, dude. I was
Really?
making 13 cents a word. And
Holy
all I'd have to
shit.
do is like smoke weed and get really horny and then write what would come to me. It was I remember getting my first big check and going straight out because to me it was all play money. So I just went straight out and bought a guitar. Like it was that was that good. But I mean, but again, this was magazines and stuff too, you know?
Yeah.
And also when I finally met my wife and had like regular sex, I couldn't find any motivation to do it anymore. But it was also creepy too. Like I remember writing a story about like a manager kind of pushing one of his employees to sleep with him. And like
Big Al, yeah.
But oh man, there's a Big Al in Seattle actually, but that's a whole other story. But
did you do anything that was woods themed?
No, but this one was weird because it was kind of rapey. And like the editors were like, this was great, write more of this, like do this. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know if I could do this anymore. But getting back to the woods though, because like seriously, like when you're in that side of Washington, like it's just life, it's just your environment, you know. I loved how like you could see like where businesses were set up where you could just tell they just cut out just enough trees to like put in a building. And then it was just like surrounded by trees. And like even my sister Alexis, my oldest sister Alexis, tried to actually build her own house deep in the Olympic woods, but it did not work out. Like it was not good. Like for one, one time she was driving and she had like a Volkswagen truck and she was driving home in the middle of the night and a deer popped out of nowhere and tried to run in front of her truck. And instead what happened is it literally, she hit the deer. The truck was so small that it basically split apart. Like the deer split the truck apart. And the deer's ass went right through the windshield into my sister's face.
Oh my God. That was like,
I mean, that's not funny.
Tommy boy.
Yeah. But and also too, later, she actually, her husband at the time became a Washington State patrolman. And they used to kind of just walk around their woods and they kept going like, man, our next door neighbors sure do need a lot of electricity. Like they have a lot of generators and stuff. What do you think that could be? And then if they went and kind of checked it out and they realized right away it was a massive weed grow. And they actually called it in and it turned out to be one of the biggest weed grows in Washington. And the part that they regretted so much is that if they would have just made the anonymous tip, they would have gotten $10 a plant, and it was millions of plants. Like it was a ton of plants.
You know, I really did miss the woods living in LA. It's like such a different fucking aesthetic, and it does make like the air so clean and fresh.
Yeah,
it's just a quintessential Bremerton. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think personally, I just like went in there out of necessity or boredom. But like now I'm not like a city boy, but I just I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like I appreciate nature and I don't want them to fucking tear down any more fucking forests to build bullshit like Chick-fil-A's and crap like that, you know, but like I just don't go out in the woods anymore. I just don't really have any need to. Actually, I just went and climbed a mountain the other day.
Yeah.
I was in the woods the whole time.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that.
How sad are you that the fort or like the area at Hurricane Ridge is gone? You know, that was important to me for like both sledding and going on like hikes and stuff during the blizzards. You know, like it was. I mean, that was really important.
Like Port
to me.
Angeles, right?
Yeah, just out of PA.
Yeah.
They had like there was no chairlifts there, but there was a rope tow. You just hold the rope and go up. And I remember this one time. My family went up there. I think I was 13, 14 and to go sledding. And I was like, I'm going to take my skis and go up the rope tow on my skis, just like you would at Stevens.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just going to fucking ski at fucking Hurricane Ridge. And it wasn't really made for skiing. So, but I was like, well, I got to get some skiing in today. So I was like, I'm going to ski all the way down the side of the highway back down to PA. So I did.
Crazy.
Yeah. And it was like fucking ice. I just kept eating shit all the time. My dad was like, sure you don't want to get in the car? Like, no, I'm going to keep going. Fucking.
That's amazing.
Well, you know, I'd be interested to hear anybody's maybe we're just weirdos, dude, and we're the only people who like have found prawn in the woods. But leave in the comments some of your wood stories or where the coolest secret wood spots are out here in Kitsap. Well, I'd be interested to learn some of those.
And could I give a eulogy to my woods really quick?
Sure.
Because like truly, when I was still living in Bremerton, the guy that actually owned the woods that were the actual property that was the woods that we all played in, he didn't give a crap. He wasn't even there, but he died and they sold it off. And I remember my dad even going to like city council meetings to find out what was going to happen to those woods. And actually it turned out to be what is now like the kind of the neighborhood that is Green Glen Lane, which is off of 303. So between Winters Road and whatever KinderCare is on.
And KinderCare, yeah.
Yes. So that little cul-de-sac, if you live there, I hate you. Like if you live there, like you suck to me. I hated it. Because that was truly like watching somebody kill my childhood. Yeah. You know, I remember actually when they started construction and started tearing down the woods. And I remember being so angry that one night a friend of mine snuck out of my house in the middle of a serious rainstorm, totally dark, and we just tried to do anything we could to damage these machines that were killing our woods. And I remember finding just one thing I could unscrew and threw it off, and my friend was like, yeah, that's probably pretty good. I bet that'll clog with water and it won't be able to work anymore. I was like, yay. And then we run back to my house and we realized we had locked ourselves out of the house. So I had to wake up my mom and be like, oh, I thought I saw Chuck McAvoy out here and wanted to hang with him. Sorry.
That's an interesting thing. Go on, Josh.
Oh, I was just going to say, when's the last time you were in Bremerton or Kitsap?
Quite a few years ago. I think probably from one of my sister's weddings or something.
If you drove through, you would cry.
Yeah.
At how few woods there is now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It just bumps me. I mean, I remember when they're tearing it down and I tried to make the best of it. It was actually, there's a time when they had the circle, they had paved the circle so you could skateboard on it. So I tried to make the best of it, but it was still just a bummer. It just felt so unnecessary because it didn't seem like anyone was even going to live there,
Yeah. That's a weird little neighborhood, if you want to call it a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Well, me and Josh will have to go vandalize it in your name, buddy. But I think this
Resistance
is a good time to plant a tree,
Yeah.
and do your best to bring back the beautiful forests of Bremerton. But I think it's a good time to pinch it off, boys. What do you say?
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us for another wonderful, nostalgic episode of B-Town Stories with Shnazzle and Jerry. I'm Shnazzle.
Hey, I'm Jerry. Signing off.
Until next time, mi amigos.
Take her easy.
Hey, we're back again. Shnazzle and Jerry in Bremerton, talking some shit and spilling some tea, telling B-Town stories. B-Town Stories.
B-Town Stories is a Red Cobra production, created, produced, and written by Shnazzle Simpkins and Jerry Legarr. Also produced by Kevin L. Jones, with theme song by the Supple Dongs and logo design from Darren Chalmers.